What's going on, everybody? This is Nick Bolliger back with NV Sports. To my left, I got Garrett. We're missing Brandon again. A little bit of technical difficulties there. Anyway, we got Thursday Night Football tonight.
That's
We
right.
got the Cowboys and the Vikings. What are your thoughts on this game?
I'm going to take the Cowboys just because of the way they've been playing
Yep.
this season, the whole season, really. I mean, Dak Prescott's really poised for a quarterback. And
Oh, my gosh.
Zeke Elliott's just a monster. And
Yeah.
with that great line, and their defense isn't great,
Mm-hmm.
but I think they're good enough where they can slow the Vikings down.
Yep.
And the way the Vikings have been playing the last couple weeks, I'm going to take the Cowboys.
Oh,
also.
yeah. Yeah, I think I'm also going to take the Cowboys. Diggs is actually hurt right now. He missed last week.
That hurts a lot.
I don't really know his status on this week. Dallas has just been hot. You can't really go against a hot team. With that line, as you said, the composure in the backfield from both their quarterback and their running back.
Right.
Dez is starting to heat up a little bit as well, so that's something to look at.
Mhm.
Is there a team right now, in your opinion, that's healthy enough and good enough to stop Dallas?
I was thinking about this last week, I think, when I watched the Seahawks play.
Mhm.
If the Cowboys, which I think they're going to make it deep in the playoffs,
I
the
agree.
only team that I think can beat them is a healthy Seahawks team.
Yeah.
Because with that dynamic defense,
Mm.
and if Russell Wilson's healthy,
Mm.
he's definitely in my opinion, one of the better quarterbacks in
Right,
the league.
right.
So with him healthy and that defense all together,
Yep.
I think that I would take the Seahawks in that
Yeah,
just to stop them.
and the key word there is healthy.
Right.
Right now, Earl Thomas should be back this week. He had a hamstring injury, and also Deshaun Shedd was out. Bennett should be coming back this week for
Mhm.
Seattle. So, keyword there is healthy, and so that's going to wrap up the football coverage for today. Right now, we got some recap of what happened last night, and the first game we want to talk about is the Thunder and the Wizards. The Thunder taking this game 126 to 115. What are your thoughts?
Russell Westbrook. I mean, what's this? His fifth or sixth triple-double in a row? I
Yeah.
think it's fifth.
Yeah.
He's averaging a triple-double now. And, you go into overtime, tied, obviously, and you end up winning by 11. That's crazy in
Yeah.
overtime. When Westbrook, what did he score, 14 points in the
14
overtime? I mean, he makes getting a triple-double look easy now.
Yeah, honestly.
And, yeah.
Yeah, so the 14 points in overtime actually is a franchise record for Oklahoma.
Wow.
And also the only other player in NBA history to average a triple-double going into December is Oscar Robertson.
And he was an animal also.
Yeah.
Similar to Russ Westbrook.
Yeah.
The only thing different is Russ Westbrook's unbelievable athleticism.
Oh my gosh,
But yeah,
he's crazy.
definitely
isn't
similar in the other spots.
he? Yeah. So we're gonna come over to the Knicks game. It's Knicks and T-Wolves. Knicks taking this by 2, 106 to 104. Karl Anthony Towns had a great game, and it
Monster.
overshadowed Kristaps Porzingis, who had 29 and 8.
He had a great game also.
Yeah. So are there any takeaways that you have from this game?
The T-Wolves need to step it up a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, if your best player, I'm gonna go with best player.
Yeah, honestly.
Your best player has 47 and 18. In my opinion, you should win by
30.
10. Yeah, 10, 20, 30, something like that.
Especially
And-
with that supporting cast. too.
Right. I mean, Wiggins did have a great game. I think
Right.
he put up 19.
Yep.
But, a decent, he was that supporting cast around him. I feel like they should have won. But then again, Kristaps steps up with 29 and 8.
Yeah.
And Melo only had 14, but he hit a big shot to
yeah,
break
he
the
did.
tie at the end of the game.
Yeah. Another thing to look at is Derrick Rose, in a win, only had 2 assists.
Right. How many points did he score?
I think 11. So
Oh.
so not a productive night. Coming off a big game in a loss against the Thunder, he had 30 points himself.
Mhm.
And then he comes against a much lesser backcourt
Right.
and only scores 11 with 2 assists.
That just shows how big a game Kristaps actually had.
Right,
29
right.
and 8. If he wouldn't have had good numbers like that, then the Knicks probably wouldn't have won.
No, they wouldn't have. They had a pretty balanced effort overall as a team to win that game, overcoming the Karl Anthony Towns 47 points. And so the next game we've got is the Heat win over Denver 106 to 98.
Whiteside, animal,
Mm.
like always. I mean, he's top 2, 3 centers in the
yeah.
league right now.
Yeah, in terms of fantasy.
In terms of
fantasy,
and in terms
I think
of
he's number
numbers.
1 power forward.
Yeah.
So this game, actually, I expected the Heat to win,
Yeah.
with that front court. That's also the strength of Denver in terms of what they have as a team. But, Hassan Whiteside being a powerhouse, really.
Yeah.
He really controlled that game. 4 blocks as well.
Yeah.
That's pretty
Which
big.
isn't unusual, but 4 blocks is
Right.
big, right?
That's a big production.
One thing I want to say real quick on the Nuggets side, though, they have a fairly young team. They have
Yeah,
a
they
few
do.
veterans like Wilson Chandler, but the player you want to watch out for the remainder of the season is Jamal Murray.
Yeah.
Off the bench, he's a great scorer.
Yeah, he's been really good this year.
Yes, and in terms of fantasy, I mean, you might want to pick him up later in the season if he gets going a little bit. But yes, he's definitely sixth man coming off the bench. He's definitely a good player.
Yeah, him and Emmanuel Mudiay could be a good backcourt in that future.
Mm-hmm.
So the next game we've got for you is the Suns and the Hawks. Now the Hawks are without Paul Millsap tonight, and the Suns took it. So what do you see from this game?
Props to them.
Yeah.
I mean, Dwight Howard had a solid double-double.
Yeah, he did.
17 and 14, I want to say.
Something like that.
And, I mean, the Suns aren't great. They're definitely better than last year, but I feel like the Hawks have been slumping bad lately.
Yeah.
And even without Millsap, I feel like they should have won this game.
Yeah, I agree. The Suns had a pretty balanced effort. Brendan Knight leading the way with 23 points off the bench. He also had 5 rebounds, and the Hawks had 20 turnovers.
Yeah, so that's
20 turnovers.
Yeah, that's not very good. That's definitely probably why the Suns won, to be honest.
Yeah,
by 2.
Yeah,
I'm sure they had a fair amount of.
They had 15 turnovers as well.
Yeah.
So I mean, but that 5 turnover difference is huge.
Makes a lot. Yeah, right.
Yeah. So again, Hawks lose without Millsap last night. So we're gonna go to a game that kind of surprised me.
Mm-hmm.
The outcome of that, the Lakers upset the Bulls without D'Angelo Russell.
But you have Julius Randle back, and
Right.
he had a crazy game.
Now, this is his first game back, I believe. Maybe second.
No, I think it's first.
Yeah.
I think it might be first.
His first game back from that hip injury. He had 20 rebounds and 13 points.
This is an undersized power forward.
Yeah. Coming off an injury.
20 rebounds, yes.
That's just incredible to me. Julius Randle is going to be a powerhouse in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
Breaks his leg last year. Comes back from that. Has a great start to the season. That hip injury early, and he has 20 rebounds.
Yeah, right. And he's showing a little bit of a shooting touch also. I mean, he's hit a few threes, but the next couple years, if he expands out there to a decent three-point shooter, then he's going to be tough to defend.
Yeah, he's also underrated passer as well.
Yes, he is.
He's had a triple-double this year with 10 assists.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to move on to games tonight. We've got a couple big games. So we're going to start out with the Heat and the Jazz.
Yeah, that is a very big game. The Jazz, the Jazz are one of my favorite teams, actually. They have a young core. Gordon Hayward's one of my favorite players. He's just a solid player. Should be an all-star this year.
I agree.
But I'm going to take the Jazz, yeah. The Heat aren't looking that great so far this season.
The balance, I think, will get to the Heat.
Right.
A guy, Derek Favors, is kind of, he's really similar to Hassan Whiteside. He's not as big of a scorer, but
and
great
not quite
shot
as
blocker.
athletic. But yes, he's everything that Hassan Whiteside is.
Yeah, great shot blocker, good rebounder, not as much of a scorer. But that's going to be a really big matchup tonight. Is if Derek Favors can contain Hassan Whiteside, I think the Jazz should easily win that game.
I agree.
Now on to my most intriguing game to watch: the Rockets versus the Warriors. Do the Rockets have somebody that can step up and help James Harden tonight?
Not against the Warriors.
Right,
I think this is going to be, and if you like watching offense, which most people do, will watch this game. This is going to be a high-scoring game. I think Harden goes and has a big night just because he's playing the top team.
Yep.
And I think probably Durant steps up.
Yep.
He's already stepped up, but scores quite a bit.
Right.
And I'm going to go with the Rockets.
Sorry,
no, Warriors. Sorry, not Rockets, Warriors.
I'm also going to agree. I'm going to go with the Warriors. I agree James Harden will have a big night, though. He's incredible, playing against a big team, former teammate Kevin Durant, so he's got to prove to him something.
Maybe a little bit of a battle there if they guard each other.
Even
if they don't, I think they'll go back and forth a little bit.
Yeah, I think Trevor Ariza will probably be stuck on Durant, which I'd take Durant in that matchup any day of the week.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
One player I'd like to look out for tonight is Clint Capella. I think if Capella could have a big game over Zaza Pachulia in like the 15 minutes he plays, maybe we see a close game. I'm still going to stick with the Warriors, of course, but 12-game win streak can't really.
Capella's not a bad scoring center. I mean, I like to compare him to Dwight Howard, just like a mini Dwight Howard, as I say.
Right.
But he's not quite as good, like athletically or skilled. But I compare him to Dwight Howard.
Yeah, pretty similar in terms of like they're both good rebounders. Both can dunk the ball really hard.
Yeah, that's right.
So the next game, this is the game before I said is my most intriguing game. This is going to be my favorite game of the night. You've got the Clippers versus the Cavaliers. Excuse me. So what are you thinking?
I'm actually gonna take the Clippers in this game. I am. I think the Clippers. I think they're 14-5. The last couple of games they've been on a skid.
Yeah.
But if Chris Paul's been playing really. He had a triple double the other night. He's been playing really well, and if Blake Griffin I think Blake Griffin goes for 28, 30, and Chris Paul has a double-double as he always does.
Yep.
And DeAndre Jordan, I mean, I'm not. Is Tristan Thompson still out?
I think he might be back.
Either way, I think DeAndre has a big game. But
yeah,
if Tristan Thompson's not there, then DeAndre should have a 20 rebound game easy.
One big matchup I'd like to look at is how the Cavaliers use Kevin Love against a guy like Blake Griffin.
Right.
Do they slide Kevin Love down to guard Mbah Moute, or do they slide LeBron to guard Blake Griffin?
That's what I would do, only because LeBron's a better defender.
Right.
But and the thing on the offense event, Kevin Love might struggle if Blake guards him.
Yeah.
Because Blake's athletic, he moves like a guard.
Yeah, he does.
And Kevin Love's not going to be able to get in the paint.
Right.
So you might see him settling for threes more than he usually does.
Yeah, and Blake Griffin can close out on him, no problem. Very, very athletic.
And Blake Griffin's actually a pretty good defender.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. Probably one of the better perimeter big men in the league. Now, we've got a question sent in. The first one is, Isaiah Austin returns to basketball. Now, over the last 2 years, he's battled a disease that everybody thought ended his career. He would have been a big lottery pick. I like to call him a stretch five, kind of like Thon Maker, guy that can, handle the ball quite decent for his size, shoot the ball pretty well. Do you think he can make an NBA roster still?
I think they'll give him a chance just because everything he's gone through. He's supposed to be a good player.
Yeah.
The only thing is, 2 years he might have lost that.
Right.
Lost a little bit of that. I'm sure he can find it at some point.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think not a big team. I think like maybe a Brooklyn or a Suns team, something like that, or maybe a Sixers team. Pick him up and maybe give him a chance. And I think if he plays a little bit, they could give him enough minutes. I think he could stick in the league for a little while.
Yeah. What I'd love to see is we saw a guy, Joel Embiid, be absent for 2 years.
Right, the same.
And
that could happen.
We saw Isaiah Austin. Now these are two completely different things.
Right.
Isaiah Austin's was a disease that targeted connective tissue within your body, and you can't really treat it, and you can't really your body just has to fight it.
Yeah, he fought
incredible. This is probably one of the greatest stories. If he comes back, makes a return, and has a good NBA career,
for sure,
this will be one of the greatest sports stories you've ever heard in your life.
I agree.
Now, Joel Embiid had that foot injury, and I believe he also had a knee injury.
Yep. He had. I think he had foot in college coming in, and then he hurt his knee.
Yeah. So he had 2 injuries that held him out for 2 years. Now he's back, and he's been phenomenal.
Oh,
so
yes,
I'd love to see Isaiah Austin come back and have that sort of 2-year period gap where he doesn't play, and then just has an absolutely amazing career.
Yes, that would be awesome.
And now this is a question that I hold near and dear to my heart because I love Thon Maker. Yep. I think he's phenomenal.
Oh, I agree. I agree 100%.
A big stretch five. Now, I hate centers that shoot a lot of three-pointers, but I love watching this guy play. And he doesn't really play too much. Do you think he could get more minutes, or why do you think he doesn't get enough minutes?
I think he should be. I don't know why he doesn't get more minutes. I think he's definitely over 7 foot, isn't he?
Oh yeah, he's I think 7'1".
He's a 7'1" center with shooting touch, like a good shooter.
Yeah.
I mean, if you give him 2 minutes a game, 3 minutes a game, he's scoring 4-6 points.
Yeah.
Like, give him more minutes.
Right.
I'm not sure why they don't. Like, that's a young team. I mean, I know I think they're going to make the playoffs this year, but at some point in the season, you have to incorporate him and let him get some shots and some minutes to see what he does. I mean, the thing is, you give him 15 minutes a game and he doesn't produce, then bring him back again like you've been doing right now.
Yeah.
But you have to give him a chance at some point.
Right, and it's not like they're going to be a championship contender yet. You know, in 3, 4, 5 years, they're going to be right there.
Yes, I agree. No, they should.
Because they have
along with the Lakers and the Timberwolves.
Right, Jabari Parker and Antetokounmpo, guys you build around. Yep. Thon Maker is a guy you can build around because just like
potential is through the roof.
Just like Antetokounmpo, he's a big guy, big lanky guy with ball handling ability.
But yes, very good ball handling.
I mean, he broke Birdman's ankles in the 2 minutes he got to play the other night. Step back, hits it, and 4 points in 2 minutes. You know, that's a guy that he's a playmaker. I think he needs more minutes. You know, it really puzzles me, honestly. But that's all we got for today. Any questions you got, put them in the comments below. You know, get a hold of us on social media. You know what to do. And that's all for today. We'll catch you next time.